Hey y'all, my name's Jake, and this is my show, For Goodness Jake. And today I'm watching the critically acclaimed film, Batman Begins. And so from what I understand, this film is a bit more depthful, deep, has a lot more layers than some of the other films we've watched so far on my channel. So for this one, I'm going to be cracking open my English degree that I have, my English literature degree. I graduated last year from Emory University with honors. So I think that's really going to come into use today as we analyze this film, because from what I understand, there's a lot going on there, a lot of symbolism, characters, so I'm going to, be lending my critical voice that I developed as a student of English literature at Emory University, where I graduated with honors. So today, as you can see, my setup is a bit different. That's because the lighting is a bit weird, so I'm trying something new, see if this will work with the lighting. I might have to change things around in the middle of the episode. Bear with me while I kind of work out the kinks of this hose of a show that is flowing the content towards you. So yes, I've never seen this before or any other Batman film. My knowledge of Batman is very little, so I'm excited to see this film and what happens in it and where the characters go and all of the meaning and depth that goes on behind it. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy me watching it. Also, make sure to stick around to the end, because there's a big announcement that I have about the future of this channel, specifically the next episode, but it's going to revolutionize the future of the channel, so make sure to stick around to the end for that special announcement. Without further ado, let's begin the show. What's that? Dude, those are all like bats. Okay. So what do the bats stand for, do you think? They all like formed a big bat. I noticed there was a lot of them, and that they were very numerous and samey. They looked the same. They weren't distinct. They didn't look distinct. They looked like they were the same. I think that kind of is showing how the society views them as like a metaphor for the outcasts. Okay, he's alright. I was a little worried there. I thought he was dead. Is that like a cave? A hole in the rock? They're all flying out. Okay, so it's just fake. So there's a pretend cave. Maybe it was like a memory? Like a memory nightmare. Do those exist? Does that happen? I guess you need really horrific like memory for that to happen.
And I am the devil.
Okay.
You're not the devil.
He's not. So there's like an identity crisis, like a conflict of identities. And one guy says he's the devil, and the guy with the beard said no, he's just Praxis. I guess this film is dealing with like dual identities. One person says one thing, another person says another thing. Satan or the devil, and then Praxis. Dude, that was like a machine gun.
But I speak for Ra's al Ghul, and then
Ra's al Ghul. I don't think I've heard that name before. Like I haven't, like as a last name or first name or part first name, part last name. So I guess they're showing that this Razzle guy, he is unique. He's not like other people, because you can tell by his name. Like whenever people create works of art, of works of fiction, the authors or auteurs in this case, put a lot of attention and detail in like the names of people and places and things. So the fact that this guy's name is, I can't, like Rumple whatever, is important. That shows that it's not like a normal name that a normal person would have. This is kind of like foreshadowing that he's going to be different. He's going to be something special. I guess maybe he's the Batman. I guess that would make sense, because also Batman, if you think about it, it's like two things that don't really go together. Like bats and men they're different. And they usually don't hang out a lot, they're not like best friends. So the combination of the two is like juxtaposition of, a man and a bat. And so it's very unusual, just like that guy's name was. With the beard, the guy with the goatee he's working for, is maybe the Batman Begins, or just the Batman. So he's out of prison though. So I guess it was like a jailbreak. Because Batman's like a superhero. So this guy working for... Well, why is the superhero helping criminal escape out of prison? Hey guys, sorry. So, sorry for the change of scene and everything. But actually, while I was watching the film, I got a call that I needed to attend to right at that moment. So I had to go off and do some stuff. Just personal stuff. Yeah, so sorry for that little interruption. But yeah, now we're going back into the film. Also, the lighting here isn't the best. Nothing really I can do about that right now. Although I might try to get by like some sort of lighting apparatus to help light things in future episodes. But right now, this is what we have to work with, and I'm gonna have to adjust my position throughout the video to make sure the lighting is all right. Bats, dude, he's afraid of the bats. He's gonna become Batman because of the bats that he's afraid of. Okay.
They were afraid of you.
Afraid of me?
I thought he was afraid of them. It doesn't make any sense. How like you can, I don't know, because I'm not very familiar with all of that, like the fear culture. So like I said, maybe that's how it works. But usually I feel like one person's afraid of something else. Someone might be afraid of rejection or being alone forever, or not having someone to love them. These are just ideas that maybe other people are experiencing. But the fear of being alone isn't really afraid of people. So I don't know if that entirely works, but as for the film, you have to change some things, you have to modify, adapt reality. Okay, so this is like an opera. I love going to the opera. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Yeah, it makes me very cultured. Like when people go to the opera, kind of like change their perception and like take them from maybe having a kind of simple, like bland milquetoast mindset and view of the world and like art, but the opera like enriches us and like gives us more to think about and reflect on, and kind of elevates our like status and our like cultural awareness and our cultural worth. And something that's really important. That's like stuff that from a young age, like for little kids like that, the opera is just important because kids have been deprived of having like the opera or the arts in general. They are definitely, you can tell when they grow up that they haven't had that same, they haven't been exposed to it as much, and so you can kind of tell that it's not good. So is this part of the opera still? Or I think this is real life because they're not singing like in Italian. What? Why did he shoot him? In front of the kid? Dude, that's not okay. This has to be fake, right? He's all alone. I mean, at least they gave him like the opera, so you can take that with him. You can like build off of that. He didn't have that opera deprivation. Dude, it's raining too. That just makes it worse. I think the rain, actually, now that I think about it, I think the rain was symbolic of crying, because tears kind of resemble rain. They're like water that comes down, that streams in like little drops. Although tears are kind of salty, rain isn't salty. Although it'd be cool though if rain was salty. You could just like, it was like salt water rain. Who's the old British man? I think they're in America. So why is there like a British person in America? The mountains. Like something that I'm picking up on here is that these swords that they're using are very like phallic in nature. So I think that might have something to do with it. Like maybe because his parents died at such a young age, he has some unresolved issues there. Some Oedipal stuff. I think that's kind of what I'm getting. And then the swords kind of, symbolize the missing, phallus of both his father and his mother, because his father's dead now. And so that is kind of, he represses that, but the guy with the goatee, or the face hair, he is like trying to confront it. It's like therapy, kind of. Like a sort of Freudian-esque psychotherapy using the phallic swords to bring that up to the surface so they can deal with it, process and move on, and help him, confront that. So I think that's really cool and really powerful. I mean, if he lost his wife, like, that's really hard to do, I bet. So I understand why he's really, like, ninja-y. Revenge. I could see that if someone killed like my friends or Jess. I can understand that. Maybe not the best thing, but just that pain that would be there. I can't even comprehend that really. It's so like far away from me or what I live, what I have lived, what I will live, what my life is going to be like. It's not going to be like that. Oh, clothes. That's a gun, dude. Oh, is he gonna kill him? He's getting the revenge. I get it. Okay, revenge. So I didn't know Batman was like a revenging. That's, it's like, I don't get that. That's kind of weird. I've never seen a room that acts in that manner before. There's bats in the box. The box bats. Dude. That is kind of scary. Okay, so continuing off what we were talking about earlier with the bats as a working class, that like shows him coming to terms with like bats being oppressed as working class because they're being shoved inside a box. It's tiny. They surely don't have any room. But yeah, it shows like poor living conditions and working conditions inside the box. Like those bats didn't have a lot of room to breathe, and especially like, you know, poop and pee and stuff like that, you know. So I think that it's showing just how terrible the bats are treated and the working class. And I think this is Bruce coming to terms with that. That was kind of what was symbolically represented, because you can't really literally put bats inside a box like that, or that many bats inside a box that small. It has to be, yeah, more metaphorical, yeah.
It is beyond saving and must be allowed to die. This is the most important function.
I guess it's kind of like the wheels of history turning. Like he was saying, like Rome and Constantinople, like they ended, like they destroyed, because that's just how history is. I guess this is kind of the next step of that. So there's kind of continuing how history works naturally. So it's not really that bad. I guess I get why Bruce is maybe a bit hesitant, but I don't know. Is he gonna kill the dude? He's gonna cut his head off. It's gross.
What are you doing? What's necessary?
Oh. Okay. He's doing the fire. Oh, like fireworks. I guess they're probably saving them for a celebration or something. But I guess Bruce is using them all now, and they probably don't like that very much. So I get it. You know, if I had a lot of fireworks and like Jared or Jess, you know, or any of my other friends, they came and tried, just took my fireworks, or not even took, just lit them, like in where they are, without asking, just blew them up. Like I'd be kind of upset. So yeah, I get the anger that they're feeling, the vindication of, yeah, maybe a bit extreme. Oh, I was dead. That was pretty easy actually. Just like the boards and the fire. That would probably happen. That's what would happen to anyone if they like just blew up my fireworks. The beams would like fall on them to blow up the house. But not that anyone would steal from me. I'm very generous. I feel like most of the time that I'm welcome people using my fireworks. I can share in time, and they would ask it. And also the people in my life wouldn't do it without asking me. They wouldn't steal from me. So it's kind of an absurd hypothetical, but you know. Just in case, you know, it was just a thought experiment, I guess, even though it's a bit unrealistic.
Elemental, something terrifying.
A bat. He's gonna be a bat. He's gonna be part of the working class. He's gonna represent them, even though he's not. I guess he's kind of rich. I guess it's maybe a commentary on how the way things are now, the working class, the bats themselves can't speak up for themselves. They can't represent. They can't be a symbol of themselves. It requires somebody in a higher place who is sympathetic to kind of help them out. That guy's really ugly. So maybe at this point, he's trying to find and understand them both more. The poor. Okay, so this is like a cave where the bats live. Maybe this is like Plato's cave. you know, the analogy that Plato came up with, like not like Play-Doh, like the play you do with a kid, Play-Toe, T. Um, he had this thing that he came up with where like these people are all chained up inside of a cave, and they can't see because the cave is dark, and one of the guys is able to break free and escape from the cave. When they're in the cave, they think that the cave is all that there is, but then that guy escapes from the cave and goes outside, and he's like blinded by the sun. He's like, wow, because like, he only knows darkness, and so he was sheltered in a cave from reality, which is the outside world. And when he sees the outside world, it's bright. He can't see anything at all. But eventually, as his eyes accustom to the brightness, he's able to see and touch and feel things, how they actually are, not just the black darkness of the cave and the hardness of the rock. So it's about coming to terms with truth and experiencing and coming out of that cave, of that ignorance and blindness that you have. And then later, that guy who escaped from the cave goes back into the cave and tries to tell people in the cave all that he's experienced about light and touch and feel, all this stuff. And people in the cave are like, oh no, you're silly, you're ridiculous, this is all that there is. You know, so because they are still in that position. So I think that's kind of what they're going for with the cave and the bats. In the cave, the bats are still in the cave. The bats are in Plato's cave. They are, they don't see, like, they don't understand class warfare. They don't understand the hierarchies and the structures of power that are keeping them oppressed. But I think the thing is that Bruce also was in his own rich cave that's different, and he was able to escape from his cave like Plato. Well, not Plato, but Plato's the dude in Plato's thing. So he escaped the cave and sees bright, but then got used to it. Now he's trying to help the bats out of the cave. He's trying to get the bats to, like, you know, realize that they need to start a revolution against the rich people outside of the cave. So I think it's kind of what they're going for in terms of symbolism that's going on here. Okay, so he's building lights in the cave. I like that. I like the symbolism there. So instead of trying to just blindly convince the bats, he's building lights so that they can slowly accustom to seeing the light, and so that whenever they go outside the cave, and they're more ready to start the class warfare and like take down the rich. Oh, it's the bat knife. So he's trying to get the other rich people to also kind of be afraid of the bats, showing, hey, they can do revolution, be afraid, treat them nice. Hence Batman. I see it now.
I'm Batman.
What? He's Batman. Yeah. Dude.
Nice
That's pretty cool. He can fly. He just flew away. Dude, that was pretty epic, okay? I'm Batman. He flies like a bat. That makes sense. He's very well toned. His muscles are, he's kind of ripped. I've seen better. He probably doesn't have the best routine, not like the most balanced. He probably is focusing a little too much in certain areas and neglecting other parts, which is understandable. It's kind of a mistake a lot of rookies make, but he's doing push-ups. Okay, well, hey, I mean, push-ups are classic. They're always good to go with. So that's cool that he's doing that. I respect that.
Heard you were back. What are you doing?
Aw, it's cute. They like each other. You can tell. Yeah, he's smiling. You see, he really is in love with her. He's getting bigger. So the guy with the glasses, he can like grow, like he has like a deep voice. It's kind of scary. I don't know, is that how effective that would just be in combat? I think maybe there's other ways would be better. But I guess it's scary because this is thematical of fear in the film. Okay, he didn't kill him. Just like dropped him. It was kind of fun actually. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride, like at theme parks, you know, when like they have those things you can like go up, and drop you down, and drop. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, I think if you approached it from a more optimistic perspective, he would enjoy it more. It wouldn't be a scary thing; it'd be a fun thing. I think that a lot of the problems that we have in life can be solved with like a more positive mindset and seeing things differently, and just being more enthusiastic and hopeful and optimistic. I think that like can counteract a lot of negativity that people feel sometimes. A lot, especially with like mental illness and stuff. I think that they can help, especially help like overcome that and overpower that. So I think that's a big part in being happy and everything, just having that positive mindset. And not enough people know this. Not enough people like take this into action, and that's why a lot of people are kind of sad or miserable. So they just need to like change the way they see their perspectives. And so I like how this movie is showing that. What was that coming out of his mouth?
It looked like a man who takes himself too seriously.
He has bats flying out of him. He's on fire. How did the bats like fly out of him? I guess again, like symbolizing bats as fear of uprising. So maybe he represents, well, he has the maggots. So maybe that, he's like maggot face. So maybe that represents the rich. So I guess the maggots are like the rich, or the bourgeoisie maybe.
Listen, doctor.
Oh, he's giving the maggot guy smoke. So does the smoke make people like cough and choke and be distracted?
Who are you working for?
What? Dude, how did Batman do that? What is he doing? He's like, he like stuff coming out of his mouth. He's like, dude. So I guess that's like his superpower, because we didn't see his superpower before. Superpower is you can like turn into like scary, like have like blood, like is it like blood, like stuff like coming out of his mouth, and like his face is like really solid. So I guess that's his superpower. I don't know how that's related to being like a bat. Because bats are scary, because that's the theme, is scary. And so maybe something to do with that? I'm not really sure. The bats are out of the cave! Dude. Okay, so they've come out of the Plato cave, and because Bruce showed them how to get out, so now they're starting a revolution. They're smashing the windows, they're attacking the rich people. It's the bat people, the bats taking down the bourgeoisie and starting the revolution. Okay, so he controls the bats, the working class. He's like the unofficial hero of the working class. Like it wouldn't make sense if he was like literally controlled them, because that would just be the same as like oppression capitalism. But I guess he's just like metaphorically the king or the boss of the bats. Oh, he jumped across. It's a car jump, dude. That's pretty cool. I like a good car jump. Jumped into the waterfall. That's pretty cool.
You let these people go.
Oh, okay. So this is like sort of a biblical thing, like Moses, to like let my people go. It's like out of Israel, but Gotham kind of represents Israel. Batman is like Moses, and I guess that the Ra's al Ghul guy is the Pharaoh. So I see what they're doing. They're adding some like biblical layers to the story about class warfare, and yeah, so I appreciate that extra layer of like sort of intelligence, extra layer of depth that this film brings, and I really appreciate that. I think that more films should have that in there. Should like incorporate different layers of interpretation to analyze, and it's really important to me. And I really like that as like a English major. It really makes me happy to do it.
No one can save Gotham.
I mean, he kind of has a point, because like, if you can't save the city, like if everyone's too evil, what can you do? I guess, I mean, it's a bit extreme. I don't know if I would go for that in reality, but I understand where it's coming from. Like, yeah, you know, criminals are bad, and they deserve, you know, pain. And, you know, if it can't be, you know, rehabilitated, which is very difficult. So I guess it is easier and kind of quicker and probably cheaper to go the other route that he's going for. Which, you know, I get it. I can respect that that point of view. Oh, that's the same thing that happened to the fake Ra's al Ghul. It's like this parallel symbolism. I think it's like representing the deterioration, dilapidation that comes, you know, the house on fire, burning. It happens 2 times. It's basically at the same point in the movie, but at like one's at the beginning, one's at the end. So it's like symmetry.
What is the point of all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody log?
That's a good point, yeah. I mean, I think with all that he's doing, he probably should be able to lift that. It's kind of weak, honestly. Think about it. Like, I think if I were in that situation, I could probably lift up that that log. You know, I think I've had, you know, a ton of training, but enough where the log wouldn't be that big of an issue. Yeah, but that's just me. I guess he's different. He's not quite as advanced, maybe. But yeah, that's okay.
So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Oh, it's like what his father said at the very beginning. So there's another like paralleled symmetry of like the symbolism. So yeah, I like that. It's really cool. Is that like the same smoke that the guy with the bag head was? The maggot man? He was using smoke to like distract people while his face turned to maggots. Oh, so they all have the superpowers now. So it's like the smoke gives them superpowers, like change their face. Maybe that's why Batman had it earlier. His face got really. That's because of the smoke. So it's not like maybe his normal powers. So it's like superpower smoke. So why is the villains giving everyone superpowers? What? Dude, that's kind of a lame superpower. Like, he's got his horse, like a fire horse, but then he got like tasered in the face and he just like falls off, and that's pretty underwhelming. You know, if I want a superpower, would like not something that just looks cool. Like a big fiery horse is cool. I could have used that to kill her, I guess, but he didn't. So yeah, I don't know.
At least tell me your name.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
He's kind of dodging the question. That's not what she asked. She asked what he was. He's kind of, and it's a cool quote. Like I would hang that up in my room. That's on a poster. Like it's a good quote, but kind of dodging the question, not being very forthright, not being very honest. I don't know if that's great behavior from someone who's supposed to be a supporting, loving partner. Dude, so because he got the smoke, he got more superpowers of like looking, of like, make himself even more scary, maybe. So why do these guys have masks on so they don't get the superpowers? Are they like purists, like human purists, like Nazis, but they hate, you know, superheroes? Yeah, there he's using his powers now. Yeah, smart. I guess he's just waiting to use them at the right time. I wonder if he survived that. Oh, so he's closing up the cave of the bats. So the bats can't go back into the cave. They've escaped Plato's cave, and they are in the world. They're in the real life, and they've seen that. And I think that ending, like, was kind of symbolic of them, of the revolution. Like, taking like, the train. I think that's what it is. The train with the pharaoh on it, because Pharaoh was very wealthy. He was a leader. He was the head of the systems of oppression, and the Israelites were like the slaves. Just like the bats are kind of like the working class, who are in our society slaves. So I think that's they're kissing. Wow, that's so sweet. I like it when they kiss. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so now he's closed it off, so they can't go back to the cave. They're out in the open, and there's revolution that happened, and that's kind of very cool, very symbolic. So I think the next movies we're gonna continue that, the kind of that analysis and deconstruction of society. So yeah, there are a couple other movies in this like series. I think there's 2 more. It's like a trilogy. So I will react to them eventually, maybe soon, maybe later. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that because I've been enjoying this one so far. I think it's almost over. But yeah, so I'll do the next 2, and hopefully you guys will check them out. Oh, that's cute. They're holding hands. So are they gonna get married? Because it's like she's wearing white, he's wearing black, like the bride and groom. I think that's kind of some foreshadowing going on there, that they're gonna get married sometime soon.
Waves a calling card.
Okay, Joker. I think maybe he had like a deck of cards and he wanted to play a game where you don't need the jokers, so he like wanted to discard them, maybe left them at the crime scene. He's flying. Oh, it's over. Okay, cool. Batman Begins. Yeah, Batman, he did begin. That was the beginning of Batman. He began. That was cool. Alright, so I'm gonna give you my quick little thoughts on the film overall as a whole. I really enjoyed it. I liked all of the like the action, all the cool like kung fu ninja fighting, but also I think the important things were the depth and the analyses that you could get from it. Because they clearly spent a lot of time thinking, poring over all of that, and really like going deeper, you know. And there's lots of allusions and references to literature, philosophy, religion, and I like that. I like all that depth there that they have. Makes it there's a lot to like to pick apart and for me to like digest after watching it. So I really appreciate that. It's a movie that will stick with me, and I'll be thinking through all those philosophicals in the future for a while. And as I said before, I have a pretty big announcement, guys. Next episode, I'm not going to be here by myself. I'm going to be joined by my girlfriend, Jessica. That's right. She's coming here. She is going to react with me. We're both going to watch a movie together. Super excited to introduce you guys to her and to have her on the channel. It's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that. Make sure not to miss that. So click the subscribe button, turn the bell so you can ring and hear it, so you get the notification when I upload that video. So thank you guys so much. Catch you later.